Hey, my name is Dan. I used to work at the biggest dealership in the country, and now I teach fine folks like you how not to get fucked when buying a car. Kind of a cool gig, huh? Thank you. Someone has to do it. I didn't choose this life chose me. But in this video, I want to talk about car prices, depreciation, and should you buy a new car? I mean, that's why you're looking here. That's why you're here. That's why you're wasting your time or spending your time. Why should you buy a new car or you shouldn't you buy a new car? The short answer is abso-fucking-lutely not. But because you probably don't believe me and you think you know better than me, I'm going to show you a couple of examples and we'll see what your decision is, if maybe just the tiniest bit I can make an impact on your decision. Let's jump into it. So the first car we are going to start with is going to be this beautiful BMW 5 Series. Looks amazing. However, in 3 years, it will drop 52%. So the cars we're going to go over are in 3 years. That's not 5 years. That's not 10 years. Only 3 years. That's the coolest part. 3 years later, you can buy the same car for 52% less. It will drop more than half of its value. Kind of cool, huh? Next, VW Passat. It will drop 50% of its value. In 3 years later, you can buy it for $14,000, $15,000, $13,000, depends how good your negotiation is. Mercedes E-Class. This is one of my favorite cars not to buy. 49% depreciation. BMW 3 Series, 49% depreciation. Not done just yet. Look at this beautiful Jetta. 48% depreciation. You can buy this thing for 13 grand. Here's another one, Audi A3. This is probably the worst car you can ever buy from German cars. Not only because German cars are extremely unreliable, but this car will be unreliable and it's tiny as hell. I mean, the back seat on this car is non-existent. Unless your backseat passengers will be Chihuahua and a Capri Sound pack, no human being will ever fit in the backseat of one of those things. Ford Taurus, 49% depreciation. In fact, Ford Taurus does not even exist anymore. They don't exist anymore. They have been canceled. Unless you're buying Ford Taurus SHO, which is pretty snazzy car with 360 horsepower that you can easily bring it to over 450, then stay away from Ford Tauruses. Chrysler 200, same thing. This car is not even being made. That's how great this car was. That's how good of a car they were making. Don't ever buy Chrysler anything, but especially this car. Ford Focus, 45%. I don't know why this car doesn't have 100% depreciation, because the quality of their transmissions is so low. It's such a garbage car that I don't know how this car has legally been allowed to make even. Thank God it was canceled and they're never making it again, but stay away from this car at all. Don't even look at it. Don't even think about it. Next one, Cadillac SRX. So this guy has 47% depreciation, and this is only one of two SUVs that actually has absolutely mind-blowing depreciation. This thing is falling down the cliff like a rock and nobody is even trying to stop it. In fact, if you look at the car, the first generation of this car, it looks better than the second generation of the car. People who were making this car didn't even want this car to sell. This is the second SUV that will be depreciating absolutely immensely at 46%. Here's the crazy part. It looks horrific. No wonder that this car is depreciating so bad. It looks ugly as hell and it's a 7-seater. Okay, cars are depreciating like hell, no question about it. I'm just showing you some worst case scenarios and why you should never buy a new car. But SUVs, their depreciation rate is typically about 45 to 43%. It's not as bad as sedans. We're just going over sedans. If you're looking to buy a car, buy an SUV, because you're going to be able to resell it later on for more than a typical sedan, because sedans are going out of style since 2014-15. Unfortunately, no salesman will tell you about it. I actually made a video, Death of Sedan. Check it out on my channel. Next one, Nissan Maxima, 47% depreciation over 3 years. All these cars are only 3 years. You don't even have to wait for 5 years. 3 years later, for $18,000, you can have this puppy. Infiniti Q50, I actually know this car really well, 54%. Next, we're gonna go over to cars that have depreciated immensely over 1 year. Only 1 year. Toyota Camry lost 31%, Cadillac CTS will lose 34%, Lincoln MKZ will lose another 34%, Cadillac XTS will lose another 38%, Volkswagen CC will lose 39%, Chevy Impala will lose 60%. No, unfortunately, it's not that Impala, it's the modern Impala. I wish I could buy that old Impala with 60% off. And the last but definitely not least, Nissan Leaf at 60% depreciation. So I just told you a bunch of numbers. Let me tell you what the hell all this actually means and how will this impact you. Number one, I showed you the cars that are depreciating the most, okay? So if you notice, there was only 2 SUVs and both of them were really ugly. So that might have had something to do with depreciation. Typically, SUVs will keep their value for a lot higher because people want SUVs in 2018 and further on, because SUVs are getting so much better gas mileage than they were used to be getting. You can get an SUV right now that's getting an average of 25-27 miles per gallon, comparing to 10 years ago, an average of SUV would be getting about 18 miles to a gallon. So that's a huge leap. So you're getting the same miles per gallon as a sedan, as a Camry, as a Honda Accord, as anything else, but you're getting an SUV. Better seating positions, it's safer, you can carry more stuff, you can carry more people, and this is why value of SUVs is staying up comparing to values of sedans, which is going down, like CNN's ratings. Oh snap, did I just say that? I think I did. Nope. Please leave your comment below. I would love to see it. But here's the fun part. This is the really meat and potatoes of this whole video. If you're looking to buy a cheaper car, you should look into one of these cars to buy. Except stay away from German cars, European cars, period, because in America their quality is absolute garbage. However, there will be 2 cars that I will recommend. First is Infiniti Q50. It's a great car because it's luxurious, it's comfortable. It has 340 horsepower, 3.7 liter engine. Horsepower to engine ratio is absolutely exceptional. Lexus doesn't even come close to it. Acura does not even come close to it. It's a great car if you like to drive a little more aggressively. Second car is Nissan Leaf. If you're a tree hugger or you just like weird looking cars or you have powers to charge your car on the go, then Nissan Leaf is a car for you. Just that's the bottom line. Don't buy a Prius, don't buy a fucking Tesla. Nissan Leaf will do everything that those cars will do, but much cheaper. And here's a little bonus for you. That Impala, although I'm not a huge fan of it, although it doesn't have cool features, but if you're looking to buy a mid-size sedan and you want it to be lasting, Impala would be an option for you because it's gonna be reliable, but it's huge. If for some reason you need a big car, if you're driving an Uber, Impala might be an option for you. Hopefully I made you think a little bit differently. Hopefully if you're going to be buying a new car, you're gonna rethink your decision and go for something used. These cars are very reliable that I recommended, so you should be able to buy those cars and do not even think about any repairs. Now this is Dan with 60 Minute Car. I'm signing out and I'll see you on the internet.